From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, April 19th. After some below average days, kind of nasty weather, we have a beautiful day in store. Temperatures will soar into the upper 70s, low 80s with lots of sunshine. And then we'll get some breezier winds out of the south, 20 to 25 miles per hour at times. Again, mostly sunny. Our Storm Track 8 team says that we are going to be near record high territory for today. The record in Indy is 85 degrees from 2002. Probably won't reach it, our Marcus Bailey says, but we'll get close. Overall, he says this is going to be the best weather day of the week. Investigators in Madison County may be narrowing in on whoever called in the threat that led to the shutdown of Alexandria Monroe Junior Senior High School. They've not released a name of a suspect or person of interest, but the prosecutor tells ITMate he believes the threat came from inside the state. The school was evacuated for the threat Monday morning. 3 days earlier, dozens of schools across the region received threats, and several districts closed. Authorities say last week's threats came in the form of emails. A measure making state funding available for Indiana teachers who want firearms training is moving forward. The state Senate passed the legislation along party lines yesterday. It sets up a voluntary training program for teachers authorized to carry guns on school property. The bill does not require teachers to undergo the training. It is voluntary. According to the bill's sponsor, the 40-hour course would include topics like shooting in crowded areas, engaging multiple targets, and treating gunshot wounds. Democrats say they agree teachers should be trained if they're going to carry in schools, but say they don't like what the bill represents. The measure now heads back to the House. State representatives already passed it, but must vote on it again because of some changes made in the Senate. Today, federal teams will start helping Indiana tornado victims apply for help. FEMA says it will go door to door in neighborhoods in 12 counties. They're all under a major disaster declaration that President Biden approved over the weekend. Teams will help victims register or update applications they've already filled out and connect them with agencies for additional support. If someone comes to your door claiming to be from FEMA, the agency says its teams will have federal photo ID badges and FEMA clothing. Health experts are expressing concern about a new TikTok trend after the death of a teenager in Ohio. Family members say 13-year-old Jacob Stevens overdosed this month while doing the Benadryl challenge. The stunt has people taking more than the recommended dose to cause hallucinations. Dr. Blake Froberg is a toxicologist at Riley Hospital for Children. We asked him about Benadryl and its active ingredient, diphenhydramine.
Certainly would never recommend using, diphenhydramine or really any other medication in a manner that it's not being prescribed or in a manner that's not consistent with directions of use. If you're taking a medication to try and get abnormal effects, you're also risking having serious life-threatening effects.
Both Benadryl and TikTok have released statements urging people not to participate in the challenge.
This event was life-changing, but it's not the end of my story. So I'm here to announce that I plan on making a comeback to the NFL.
Damar Hamlin is cleared to return to football. The Buffalo Bills general manager says 3 specialists agreed Hamlin can resume playing without any fear of setbacks or complications. The Bills posted a video on social media showing Hamlin taking part in voluntary workouts. Hamlin then spoke to reporters yesterday for the first time since January when he suffered a very public cardiac arrest on the field. He reflected on his inner drive to not let fear stand in his way.
The wild moment is every day just being able to wake up and just take deep breaths and live a peaceful life, to have a family, to have people that are around me that love me and that care about me, and for those people to still have me in their lives. They almost lost me. Like I died on national TV in front of the whole world, you know what I mean? So I see it from all perspectives.
Hamlin revealed it was commotio cordis, which is a direct blow at a specific point in a heartbeat that caused his cardiac arrest. An AED saved his life. Hamlin has publicly supported legislation requiring the devices in schools nationwide, and a local woman is making the same push, leading the charge to get AEDs at every Indiana school sporting event. An AED, it's a device that can restart your heart even before paramedics arrive. Julie West says her son Jake suffered a heart attack in 2013 after a sports practice and died. West says Jake had never showed any signs of heart trouble before. West and her foundation, Play for Jake, are now calling on state lawmakers to pass Senate Bill 369. She says it may save young lives.
And I'm hoping eventually it becomes, mandated for all schools to have these sudden cardiac emergency response plan in their schools. We practice every other drill. We know what to do. We know how to protect kids.
The bill also requires AEDs at extracurricular activities like band and drama. The AEDs would be paid for out of the state's Safe Schools Fund, money set aside to pay for school safety enhancements. The measure has passed both the House and Senate. Lawmakers still need to sign off on amendments before it goes to Governor Holcomb's desk. The first episode of 100 Days to Indy makes its Indianapolis premiere tonight. It's being shown at an invitation-only event at the Living Room Theater on 9th Street. The show starts at 8 p.m. IndyCar drivers Tony Kanaan and Stephen Wilson, plus IMS President Doug Bowles, will be there. 100 Days to Indy takes fans behind the scenes as drivers start their journey to compete for motor racing's biggest prize. The series premieres on Wish TV on April 27th. Fox News is set to pay Dominion Voting Systems $787 million to settle a defamation lawsuit. The settlement was announced yesterday, the same day opening statements were set to begin. Now the agreement averts a trial in the case. Dominion accused the network of promoting lies about the 2020 election and claimed it had damaged the company's reputation. Dominion initially asked for $1.6 billion. Another voting technology company suing Fox News is responding to that settlement. Smartmatic is now suing the network for $2.7 billion in its own defamation suit. The company says the Dominion case exposed some of the misconduct and damage caused by Fox. It says its own case will further expose those wrongdoings. So far this morning, we are seeing no repeat of the problem that halted all Southwest Airlines flights yesterday. A nationwide ground stop delayed more than 2,400 flights. 28 of them were in or out of Indianapolis. Southwest says a technical problem led to the order, which ended late morning but took well into the evening to shake out. Southwest had a similar but much larger crisis over the Christmas holiday. According to FlightAware, no Southwest flights are delayed or canceled so far today. The search for two missing IU students at Lake Monroe has ended. The DNR says it found the bodies of Siddhant Shah and Aryan Vaidya late yesterday morning. Conservation officers say the students were part of a group that rented a boat and went swimming Saturday. Searchers found the bodies in about 18 feet of water east of the Paintown Marina. 4 people are dead, 3 are wounded, and 1 person is under arrest in Maine after 2 shootings that appear to be connected. Authorities found the bodies yesterday afternoon in a home about 30 minutes north of Portland. Shortly after that, officers say 3 people were wounded in gunfire on an interstate just outside Portland. Police say the shootings are connected, but they're not saying exactly how. A 34-year-old man is under arrest and preliminarily charged with murder at the first shooting scene. They've not said if he was also the interstate shooter. He's scheduled to appear in court later this week. The family of Jayland Walker is now planning legal action against the city of Akron, Ohio. It's in response to a grand jury declining to indict the 8 police officers who shot and killed Walker last summer. Protesters filled the streets yesterday, one day after the grand jury's decision. As we've talked about here on the podcast, an investigation found that the officers fired a total of 94 rounds in 6.7 seconds. A family attorney says they plan to file a suit in June ahead of the anniversary of their son's death. The Akron Police Department says it has started its own internal investigation to look into whether department policies were followed. The 8 officers involved have not been identified and do remain on the force. The Missouri man facing a felony charge for shooting a teenager on his porch is now out on bond. Andrew Lester is 84. Police say he shot 16-year-old Ralph Yarl after Yarl rang Lester's doorbell last Thursday. Yarl says he was trying to pick up his siblings and went to the wrong house by mistake. Lester turned himself in Tuesday and posted a $200,000 bond. Filming is set to restart tomorrow in Montana for the movie called Rust. The production has been shut down since 2021 when a rehearsal turned into a deadly shooting. Alec Baldwin is the star and was holding the gun that fired, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins and wounding director Joe Souza. Baldwin faces a manslaughter charge. A spokesperson for the producers of the film confirms that Baldwin and Souza will both be back when production picks back up. And to business headlines, Bank of America's CEO Brian Moynihan predicted the U.S. economy will fall into a slight recession. He said everything points to a relatively mild recession given the amount of stimulus that was paid to people and the money they've got left over. He also believes that inflation has peaked. The average price for a gallon of regular unleaded gas in the U.S. is now $3.67, up from $3.45 a month ago, according to AAA. Oil prices have touched their highest level of 2023 at nearly $83 a barrel. So the national average price of gasoline has continued to inch higher, with 45 of the nation's 50 states seeing prices rise over the last week. AAA says the current average in Indianapolis is $3.66 a gallon, up from $3.53 a month ago. Airbnb is getting into apartment rentals. It currently partners with 250 buildings that allow renters to lease their apartments part-time on the home sharing platform, a 43% increase from when it launched the program last fall. Many cities have implemented strict rules to regulate short-term rentals. Joining with landlords could make it easier for people who want to rent out their unit for a portion of the year to find a legal way to do so. The Netflix password sharing crackdown is still happening, but it's taking a while. The company says it will launch this spring. Netflix is adding an option for users to add people to their accounts, but didn't say how much it would cost in the U.S. There's a new robot babysitter for dogs. Called Companion, the AI-powered device is a robotic playmate, trainer, and optional automatic feeder for dogs for $49 a month. The company says the device can also monitor shifts in your dog's physical health as your pet grows older and detect sudden or subtle changes in your dog's movement or routine over time and send warnings. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.